Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. This is Dr. Stephanie, and I am here with our latest series called Locums Lunch and Learn. I am Dr. Stephanie. I am your double board certified critical care physician who works with physicians that are struggling with their jobs, burnt out with their careers, or who just want some career advice. Through my books, webinars, coaching, and speaking, I help physicians discover alternative jobs and careers in medicine so that they can practice medicine on their own terms. So for the next week or so, I thought I would just hop on Facebook Live to have a quick Locums Lunch and Learn series in which we can discuss some things that I think are important as it pertains to doing locums. So today, the first thing we're going to talk about during our first session of the Locums Lunch and Learn, we're going to talk about what I would like to call the Locums Rule of Threes, 3 tips and strategies that you can take that will help you improve your success as a locums doctor. So the rule of threes as it pertains to doing locums. Now, as many of you all know, I'm a locums critical care doctor, and I've been doing locums work for about 10 years. And throughout the course of my 10-year career, I've come across some tidbits that have made my locums career quite successful, and I want to take some time and share those with you. So I'm calling this the rule of threes, and these are 3 things that I think that you will need to do and to implement that will improve your chances for success as a locums doctor. The first thing that you need to do, and this is so important, is to plan your locum schedule 3 months in advance. And the reason why I recommend this is because due to the nature of locums is temporary. It takes time to get a new locums assignment. So there's a time lag between when you are presented with an assignment to when you actually get to work an assignment. That time lag is anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So if you're not careful in terms of how you schedule your locums assignment, you could be in a situation in which you look up and you don't have any assignments scheduled for that month. And then you also need to remember that locums assignments can be canceled at any time and really for any reason. So in order to lessen the chances of you having any interruptions in your locum schedule, you need to make sure that you are scheduling your locums assignments at least 2 months out, if not 3 to 4 months out, to make sure that you always have work to do, because we want to make sure that there are no gaps in your locum schedule, and we want to make sure there are no gaps in your pay. Hey, Tamisha, thanks for joining. So we, like I said, you want to make sure that you schedule your locums assignments 3 months in advance. So the second rule of 3 is to always have at least 3 potential locums assignments at all times. And this is for the reasons I stated above. Number 1, it takes a long time to get a locums assignment and to be able to start working one due to licensing and credentialing issues. Secondly, any of your locums assignments can be canceled at any time. So therefore, you always want to have locums assignments on rotation. So at any given time, you can sit up and think that there's 3 locums assignments that you are either working right now or will start working within the next several months. So like I like to tell everybody, your second job as a locums doctor is to find your next job as a locums doctor. So you always need to have locums assignments in the works. So in order to do this, you always need to be in the process of applying for new locums assignments. You need to be in a process of applying for licenses, credentials. You always need to have other jobs in the pipeline. And you also need to work with at least 3 locums companies. And the reason why I recommend that you work with multiple locums companies is because you want to maximize your opportunities of being presented with optimal locums assignments when they become available. So just to recap, locums rule of 3, the first rule of 3 is to plan your locums assignments 3 months in advance. The second rule of three is to have at least 3 potential locums assignments at all times. And you always need to remember this rule. If you remember this rule as a locums doctor, you will be fine and you will always have work. Your second job as a locums doctor is to find your next job as a locums doctor. So usually on my days off, I'm talking to recruiters, I'm filling out applications, I'm looking and doing what I need to do to obtain my next locums assignment, because you want to make sure that you always have work and that you always have pay. Now, the third rule of three, and this is probably the most important, is to have at least 3 months of living expenses saved. And this goes without saying, and this is usually a good rule for any and everybody, but especially locums doctors, because the nature of locums work sometimes is unstable work. Sometimes your locums work is plentiful depending on the season of the year and the need and the demand for your services. Sometimes things kind of dry up, and it may seem that locums assignments are kind of scarce. In order to, mitigate the hit that this may take on your finances, you need to have at least 3 months of living expenses saved, because it takes an average of 3 months to get your next locums assignment. It takes time to get a state license. It takes time to go through hospital credentialing. And because it takes time for all of that, sometimes if things don't work out, you might find yourself in between jobs, and it might be a couple of months before, you have another paycheck rolling in. So you need to have at least 3 months of living expenses saved. So if you follow these rules of three, planning your schedule 3 months in advance, having at least 3 locums assignments in the works at all times, and having at least 3 months of living expenses saved up, you will do fine as a locums doctor, and you will be able to survive the downturns in the locums cycle. Now, for those of you who are interested in doing locums, or who are kind of new to the game and want a little more information, I do have a locums ebook that I wrote, and that is free. And I would like for you to download that. It is called Locum Tenens, Your Questions Answered. And here is the link right here. So feel free to download my locums ebook. And for those of you who have any more questions, please feel free to contact me via Facebook Messenger. I would love to hear from you. And thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes out of your day to spend some time with me on this Locums Lunch and Learn. I will see you soon. Thanks, and bye-bye.